We are live.
Hello.
You're watching Talking Tangos with AngelAngieKC in Oklahoma, and we have
WeHoScott in Studio City, California.
And we are talking about week 8? 7.
7, I think.
7. Week 7, Halloween week.
Right.
So that's our theme. I have to tell you, I'm a little done with the themes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Idol when they shoehorn stuff into theme weeks. I was just like, would you just let these people sing already? Right. And I'm just kind of like, would you let these people have a week to dance?
Right. I don't mind themes like we had the famous dances, or if you have movie dances or Broadway. I think those themes are good because they're dance specific, but Halloween is just really not dance specific, so you get really distracted. It gets kind of kitschy. Remember, Witney used to hate them. He used to judge poorly because they would be into the theme too much.
Yeah, he hated the costumes. He hated the characters. It was just, and I mean, I love Halloween, but I don't know. It feels like they really tried to shoehorn some of these dances into the theme, and some of them worked and some of them didn't. And I don't know. And next week is Icons Week. It's like, well, maybe it's not quite so themey.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yep. So we started out with the opening number, which again I loved.
Loved it. They've been great.
I'm back to liking Mandy more. There's been a couple. Was it last season or was it the first of this season? I was kind of like, ugh, really? But yeah, this one I loved. Because everybody was in costume and it was spooky, so it was definitely a good introduction to Halloween, and everybody looked great.
Yeah.
So, but we went right into Nick and Sharna with an Argentine tango to Evanescence.
What is it called?
I just had my
Their
brain
big head.
Blank. Yes. Bring Me to Life. Oh, yeah. I love the song, but and I'm kind of there's a lot of people who are like, I'm so sick of this song on this show.
Yeah.
And
it does work well with the tango.
I thought didn't think it did. I thought it worked. They've used it as a paso a lot in the past.
Funny you should say that, because they were criticized of having the dance look too much like a paso.
And I was disappointed in this choreography. I usually love Sharna. I mean, I think she's wonderful. But this particular Argentine tango, I was just kind of like, I don't see the intricate, the turns and the kicks in the legs and all that leg work that's normally there.
Didn't have the flicks and kicks, and that was noted by at least some of the judges. And
yeah, I was
100%.
After it was done, I was kind of like, eh. And he looked a little stompy sometimes, and sometimes I wonder about his posture.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be getting significantly better from week to week, so I don't know what it is.
I think he kind of had a breakthrough 2 weeks ago, and he got his 10s, and then he did okay last week. So he kind of plateaued, and now I saw a little bit of a receding this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love them. I love Sharna. I love them as a couple. But I've got my fingers crossed for them because they ended up with all 8s for a 24.
Right.
Couple number 2 was Hayes and Emma with a Werewolf Viennese Waltz. Was that the Beyonce song?
Yes.
Or was that the no? That was the Disney. The Disney. Is it from Cinderella? Once Upon a Time.
Make notes of it. It's so long ago now. 5
yeah,
years.
It's the Once Upon a Time song, and I can't remember which the Disney shows it's from.
Well, I love a good waltz, and my notes. I'm trying to remember now, but my notes tell me, waited so long to do this, that I loved the choreography and the staging on it.
Yeah, lots of there were trees kind of out all throughout the thing, and there was the smoke monster. Oh, they gotta do something about that smoke monster because it got a little ridiculous.
It was crazy. It was overkill.
Yeah, but Hayes
I kind of
had
loved the choreography on it.
Yeah, Hayes had the mutton chops and the beard, and Emma had that. I love the kind of ending of it with the knife, even though you don't usually kill a werewolf with the knife. You don't like to get that close, but that whole look over her shoulder that she did back at the audience, I love that ending. Yeah, and I really like that, and he does have great lines.
Yeah,
for a 15-year-old night, really great lines.
I thought it was one of his better dances.
Yeah, and they ended up with
performances. Yeah.
Yeah, 899 for a 26.
Yeah, I might have given all 9s. I don't know if that 8 was fair, but yeah, that's a point.
Yeah. So I'm sure maybe it was Carrie Ann going, well, it's this only the second dance. We got to see what's coming up. So I don't remember what her criticism was of it.
Yeah, Carrie Ann is funny. I really can't peg her for someone who tends to go under 1 compared to the others or over 1. She does both. She sometimes breaks with the pack. She's not overly predictable that way. So I think it's very subjective. And however she sees it, she scores it.
So we'll see. But 26, and unfortunately, he was the one who went home because we're at the point where anybody who goes home is going to be good.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I could tell he was upset because he was a little teary there.
He was.
When he got sent home. So, but he's a sweetie. So, and very mature.
Yeah.
Number 3 was Alexa and Mark with that Edward Scissorhands Paso.
Scissorhands thing. Yeah, that was kind of fun.
I said very interesting Paso. I thought she looked really good.
Yeah, she did.
There were times she did look a little stompy. I think somebody said she looked a little stompy in some portions, but that was a lot of concept.
Right.
With Mark and the whole Edward get up with the hands, and I really thought that she handled it really well.
I agree. I liked it. My notes were good, and I think I agreed with the scores, which were, I think they were all
9s. Yeah, all 9s for a 27.
Yeah, good.
So then we moved on to Tamar and Val with a Foxtrot to People Are Strange. That's the Doors, People Are Strange, which I love that song. Right. And I love this concept.
But it kind of worked, but it was a little odd.
I said I loved it. I love the concept. I had to watch it twice to see the missed handholds because they talked about her missing handholds, and I did see that.
Went back to
And I said, boy, are they being tough on her tonight.
They were. Because you and I are not the biggest fans of her and them as a couple, but I don't know if it was that critical. I mean,
I do still think her package was bad. She got a really bad edit in her package when the producers asked her how they thought she was as far as comparing to the other people, and she actually came out and said she thought she was the best dancer there. Yeah, so she got a really bad edit from the producers, and
she probably cringed when she saw that on playback.
Yeah, well, and evidently she went on Twitter during the show and started telling, that she was, I didn't go read it, but I've seen stories where she went on Twitter and just kind of let the producers have it. Well,
it's interesting. It's a case where reality show producers start doing their storylines in the edit room, and Dancing with the Stars isn't too guilty of creating that kind of tension. Usually it's every couple or every contestant's own struggle and getting to that point. Usually it's not very much like Idol. It's a camaraderie, and it's kind of surprising they made the choice to do that, to do it that way.
I don't know. I think there are times when they definitely they have their own agenda.
Yeah.
As far as when they're ready for somebody to start going, that they'll get a short edit, they'll get a bad edit,
I sometimes wonder if their agenda was really very bad for Cheryl Burke when she was on. And I don't know, maybe Cheryl, I don't know, sometimes towards the end of her time on the show, she seemed quite different than the way they used to portray her. It's just sort of like this bitch. It was awful. I used to think
I don't know. Like I said, I think sometimes the producers definitely have an agenda, and you can see it. I think you can see it definitely with the people they pull into the bottom, because I don't always think that the people that they say are in jeopardy are truly in jeopardy.
So right. Well, when then they give you that, at least they used to more often would give you that in no particular order nonsense. Mm-hmm. And it's very psychological to pull someone in and pull them out as in jeopardy.
So I just keep wondering if they're, I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I am not a Tamar fan. I can say flat out, I don't like her.
Yeah, she can go home next. I'd be fine.
Yeah, I've never been able to relate to her. I've always felt she was very reserved and standoffish and almost snooty. And I don't like her personality. She doesn't have a personality that speaks to me. And I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cause I saw Louis on something and he said she's the hardest worker there.
Right.
It's all perception, all how she comes across. She does not come across as a relatable, likable person.
Right.
And that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, wouldn't mind if she went home. Yeah. Next couple was Andy and Allison with a Paso.
Oh, but we came back for a rejoin with a little of Adam Lambert's Ghost Town, and I was kind of happy about that because I love that song. Do you remember that they bumped in when they were all dancing to Ghost Town?
Oh, yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah. I'm loving the bumpers. I'm loving the fact they still have the 2 hours, and they're able to do the bumpers even longer than they were, because normally they're like 15, 20 seconds.
The audience is probably getting a full song of entertainment, leading up to the rejoins. So very nice.
But yeah, that's.
But then, what did you say? We had Andy and Allison.
Andy and Allison with the Paso, and that was, I can't remember what the song was, but it was kind of an underworld, vampire-ish thing with the. They all had the contacts, the white eye contacts or the ice blue. Those were freaky. I said shoulders, but really intense. His shoulders are still up. But I thought it was really intense. He looked slightly awkward at times. And I did say those contacts are on everybody because Sharna had them too.
Right. In
the first dance. Right. But I love the fact that he had that breakthrough with Sharna and has just kind of kept going. I mean, he's kind of kept that intensity and the focus and. Yep. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how he did because he had to fly to Kansas City to sing the national anthem at the World Series on Tuesday. So we'll see how him missing a day of rehearsal does. But they ended up with 998 for 26.
Yep.
Bruno was harping on the shoulders and the whatever he calls the stop thing that he's not pulling up out of his pelvis and all that kind of stuff. So,
but Andy
sometimes I think Bruno is trying to be a little more technical to kind of bring in a little bit of Lynn. So,
right.
So we'll see. And the next couple was Bindi and Derek with an Argentine tango, and I love that song. I was obsessed with the Lost Boys when it was out in the theaters. It played in our theaters for probably 2 weeks, and I probably saw it 3 times a week while it was there.
She's amazing.
So I love the song. I love the movie, and I said that was an amazing Argentine tango. Yep. Except that wig. I was just like, that wig. What's with the?
It was like a dark hair thing over her blonde.
It was, but they left the bare spots where the net was. I'm like, what?
I was actually a little fascinated by it. I actually went back to look at it. I'm like, what's going on with the hair? Oh, it's like a weavy thing over another color. It was just odd. It was
I mean, the wig had the mesh they had was like flesh-colored mesh.
Right.
But it showed her hair through it so much that it distracted me a lot of times.
Yeah. But I will say, her trying to be cute with the fangs. Remember, that little bit. She tried to be, she was just too cute with it. She tried to be like old me. It was funny.
Hang on. Sorry, my alarm went off to get up to get ready for work. Yeah, I mean, there were times the faces were a little strange, but she worked it really hard. So
I see her with the fangs being all cute.
And they got all 10s for a 30, which I'm not sure it's an all 10 dance. I mean, maybe a couple 10s and a 9 or a couple 9s and a 10. I don't know that I saw any all 10 dances on Tuesday.
The darling.
But I mean, they're pushing. Then
we had the package that had the series of the scarings, the boobs.
I love Halloween week for that because Sasha.
That's the best part.
Yeah, and I mean the fact when he scared Leah after whose dance was it?
Val forward, yeah.
Was it Tamar and Val's that Sasha came up in the clown mask? That's what I was saying. Yeah, before we went on air, I was saying I'm really enjoying Leah. I mean, she's super down to earth and just, I mean, she's funny. I mean, totally different from Aaron, and I like Aaron. I actually really enjoy Aaron.
I love Aaron, but it's a whole different feel.
But so it's quite fun.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Alek and Lindsay with the Viennese Waltz, and he also got a bad package at it.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed the attitude. I'm wondering if they're done, if the producers are done with him, ready for him to go, and because they gave him surely gave him a non-hero edit on his package. Yeah. Made him come off arrogant and sulky and just not good. But that Viennese Waltz, that was the one that was the Lady in Black that was the Beyonce song. And I said he looked great. He's so good in hold. He's good in a hold. He looks strong. It looks like he's leading, even if he's not leading.
Right.
And I thought Artem actually helped him a little bit. I thought having Riley had to get his 2 cents in, huh?
somebody heard a noise.
Uh-oh.
All right,
So anyway, I was saying that I actually thought Rowdy, I'm sorry, I'm talking about your dog. I actually thought Artem did help a lot. I thought it helped having another strong man in the rehearsal room, if nothing else, to show him certain things, the things, even because there were times when Alek said the dance was perfect, and I kind of did think Artem coming out and saying, "Did you think that dance was perfect? Really?" Was kind of a reality check for him. But I thought having somebody in that studio somewhat like him as far as stature and trying to bring out that machismo,
right,
was helpful. And I've seen things where people said no, but there are a lot of people out there who don't like Artem.
Yeah.
So certain sites that I read, I go out and read it just for like scoops and stuff, and then I need to start avoiding the comments because they're so anti certain people that it's just like, oh, I can't keep reading this. But yeah, I thought Artem did help some as far as getting hand position and shoulders and arm and that type of thing. Because it was anyway, and they ended up with a 9.88 for a 25.
It's on the game with that.
Yeah, and we moved on. The last couple of the night was Carlos and Witney with the Paso, the Phantom Paso to oh shoot, now the song's gone out of my head. Fortuna Barrena, something. Fortuna from Karma Barrena. Yeah. Big, huge song. I mean, it's a huge song. And I said he did really good. I wish his costume had been a little bit different. I thought he looked a little frumpy at times. I thought the pants could have been a little slimmer cut. I don't know.
I just love the cape. I kept my eye on the cape.
Yeah, like I said, I felt like he was overwhelmed by the costume a little bit. Yeah. He looked small in that costume to me.
Right.
I think maybe there was just a little too much going on in the costume for me. It kind of overwhelmed his stature. I think a little more streamlined, a little less stuff on the front.
Yeah.
A slimmer cut through the hips in the pants because he's not a big guy.
Right.
So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they got 9 for a 28. So I did.
Pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, the cape was good. I don't know. I just felt like it was almost, I don't know if it's almost too much. So, but anyway, he did really well, handled it really well.
He did.
So they ended up with a 28. So we ended up with Bindi at the top with a 40, and then the next one was Carlos with a 28.
Yeah.
Alexa and Mark had a 27. And then we ended up with 26 for Hayes and Emma, but they went home.
Right.
Tamar and Val, Nick and Sharna had 24. Andy and Allison had a 26. Andy and Allison had a 26.
26, right.
Then Alek and Lindsay with a 25. So actually the two bottom ones were Tamar and Val and Nick and Sharna.
I won't be, if I had to pick, I definitely would want Tamar and Val. I mean, we're at the point they're all good dancers now.
Yeah.
But who do you want to go home more than other? I mean, Tamar's, I can't think of anyone else I want to go home more than she. I would want her.
Yeah, and the thing is, Nick and Tamar were on the same team dance.
Right.
So it was Nick, Andy, Tamar, and Hayes on Team Nightmare.
Right.
With This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
That damn song was on my head for like the whole night, and then I watched something else on YouTube with like this house all lit up to that song. I still haven't gotten the damn song out of my head.
Yeah, well, I said that was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah,
I mean, I love the costumes, and I love the music, and I love the
choreography, the way it was danced, the costumes, all of it.
Yeah, and I thought they were in sync, which is usually the big thing for the team dance.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it was
a dances in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And they ended up with all 10. So that ended up with an extra 30 added to both Tamar and Nick's score. So they still have the same score.
Right.
And I don't see Nick going home as far as fan base goes. I mean, as far as with the same scores, I don't even see him in the bottom.
Yeah. I know.
And the other team was Team Who You Gonna Call, which was Bindi, Alexa, Carlos, and Alek, and that was the theme from Ghostbusters.
Right.
Which is a lot more campy. You know, it's not a dramatic song. It's a very campy, sticky song with a very repetitive beat to it.
I didn't think it was the best choice to do a dance to, but
yeah. I like the choreography, but I did see the out of sync at the beginning.
Yeah.
I saw one of the girls out, and I've seen people say that Alek was out, so I'd have to go back and look at that again to see where that. But they were out of sync. So as soon as I saw the out of sync, I was like, oh no, Derek actually has lost. Yeah. They're not gonna win this one because it's not. And I did say that the individual dances, there were some good individual dances in there, but there was nothing, that dance did not stand out to me.
Right.
I remember the other one. The other one is the one that is in my head. And they ended up with 9, 10, 9. Julianne gave him a 10 for a 28. So the bottom 3 for this week were Hayes and Emma, Alexa and Mark again, and Tamar and Val. And my comment by her is, I just don't like her. So I wouldn't have been sad to see her go. Yeah. But it was Hayes and Emma who went home.
Well, maybe she'll be next.
We'll see. Like I said, as point-wise, we've got the bottoms are, well, actually, with the 20, I need to look and see with the team dance added in, add the 28 to Alek and Lindsay. They actually may be a point lower than the other 2.
So they're vulnerable.
So, yeah. I mean, that's trying to see. Andy was at a 26. So, yeah, the actual low score is probably going to be Alek and Lindsay. I need to go back and add in the team scores. I didn't do that in my notes. So, so yeah, it may be Alek and Tamar in the bottom, because I can see both of those, as far as fan bases go, him still being on the low side. Right. Depends on if Andy's fans are voting for him. Right. You know, if his fans are watching and voting. But then we also have Carlos and Alexa, who, well, Carlos has probably got a bigger fan base than Alexa, so that's why I think Alexa's been in the bottom twice now. Yeah. So it may be, you know, it may be coming up on her time to go. If she's in the bottom this time, if she's in the bottom this next week, she's going.
We've seen people score middle of the pack and go home if they don't have the votes. I've seen people even maybe do among the top 4 in scores go home. I remember a few upsets in the past. Yeah. So she's vulnerable.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Like I said, 2 weeks in a row in the bottom. It's right. It may be a writing on the wall kind of thing, or it may have been a thing the producer's trying to wake up a fan base and see if they'll vote for her. So, but it's one of those things where if they're kind of if Alexa and Carlos are sharing a fan base, then trying to get votes for her could pull votes from Carlos, because it could be one of those things where if they're sharing a fan base, the fan base went, well, she's been in the bottom twice now, we need to go vote for her, make sure she stays, but then they leave Carlos out there vulnerable. So we'll see. Yeah. Interesting. So, but yeah, this next week is Icons Week. That's the person who has influenced the celebrity the most. And I know already I've seen that Carlos is spending some time with Mark Anthony. So the others, I haven't watched that close to see who's doing what. So yeah, but we'll see. So it could be interesting. I mean, I think Nick and Sharna have contemporary. Let me look. I can probably do a real quick look here and tell you who's got what as far as dance styles. I know Nick and Sharna have contemporary. Wait 2 seconds.
I always like contemporary.
Especially a Sharna contemporary. Yeah. I mean, she did such an amazing job with Noah and his contemporary. Yeah. Oh, and next week they also have the immunity and the dance-off. So whoever scores the highest is going to get immunity and will not be eliminated that week. Yeah. And they'll also get 3 additional points. And then they're going to have a dance-off between the other couples. So dance-off. We shall see. And yeah, Monday is, they'll pay tribute to influential figures in their lives on Monday. Right. The styles are Nick and Sharna have contemporary, and they're doing 2 Haley Reinhart songs. Or no, they've actually just said that 2 people are doing Haley Reinhart. We'll see. Nick and Sharna have contemporary, and it says they're doing Can't Help Falling in Love by Haley Reinhart. So we'll see. I can't imagine that Haley Reinhart is Nick's icon, but Andy and Allison are dancing to a Stevie Wonder song. I don't have a style for them. Alexa and Mark are dancing to Viva La Vida by Coldplay. Bindi and Derek have a foxtrot. They're dancing to Grace Kelly by Micah. Alek and Lindsay are dancing to Holding Out for a Hero by Ella Mae Brown, or Bowen rather, Ella Mae Bowen. Tamar and Val, the thing I'm looking at says they're dancing to Can't Help Falling in Love, but I can't imagine that's correct. They're not, 2 people aren't going to do the same thing. And Carlos and Witney are doing a salsa. Ooh, should be good for him. Salsa should be good for him. To, what is that? Vallejo La Peña by Mark Anthony. So.
Interesting.
We shall see.
Yep.
Get this back here. Okay. So
Alrighty,
that's
good. So
Talking
we're
Tangos
only
for this week.
Wait, Monday will be our next show. Well, we'll be back.
Hopefully, I depending on our schedule, I'm available Monday night. Just depends on Scott's schedule. I know his schedule kind of rotates and changes. So
right.
Hopefully, I'd like to try and do it Monday night so we can get it up pretty quick and not have to drag it out all week.
Do it on our birthdays.
My Royals, if they're playing on Tuesday, I may be in Kansas City to watch with the crowd in the Power and Light District, so I may not be available on my birthday. So we'll just kind of have to see. If they win it this weekend, then I'm absolutely available on Tuesday to do. Scott and I share a birthday, so we are maybe do a birthday celebration with a little wine, maybe a little piece of cake.
29 again.
All righty, guys.
All righty.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye.